It was a little bit of a stressful morning, huh?
Yes, due to you.
Do you forgive me?
Yes, I forgive you.
I forgive you too.
There's nothing to forgive for me.
Roasted. Okay, here we are at the zoo today. It was a little bit stressful of a morning getting here, but we're here. Someone's first time at the zoo.
Okay, smile. Ready? Smile. Smile. Did you smile?
At least those creatures were active and alive and moving around.
They're all alive. Just
Very sleepy animals today. Hopefully the penguins will be a little bit more lively. There's guinea pigs? No way. They have guinea pigs here.
Your favorite animal ever.
These are my favorite animal ever. This is probably the best part of the entire zoo for me is the guinea pigs. I'm not kidding. So part of the reason why we're here at the zoo today is because today it's your birthday.
Greg is obsessed with guinea pigs. So
It's his birthday.
here we are,
How old are you?
the guinea pig exhibit.
4. Are you excited to be at the zoo? Not a bad day at the zoo.
Yeah, not bad. We saw quite a few animals.
Yeah.
Not as good as last time.
Although I was having like PTSD in the monkey exhibit.
From what?
That one time the monkey attacked me in Australia.
You were like 4 years old.
Just ask my dad. It was terrifying. That was fun spending the day at the zoo with the family. Okay, day 154 in the vlog, and we are continuing in 1 Kings like we did yesterday. We are just in chapter 7 of 1 Kings, which is also chapter 4 of 2 Chronicles. We're currently in the narrative in which Solomon is building a lot of stuff. He's constructing the temple. In fact, at this point, the temple has already been built, but we will look at the furnishings for the temple in today's vlog. But we also see that he's building other structures as well. Like he builds his own house, he builds this house of the forest, as well as a hall of pillars and the hall of the throne, which is also the hall of judgment, and just some interesting things here. What I wanted to do today, and something we haven't done in a while in the vlog, is I wanted to pull up for you the Logos interactive infographics. Like we used those in the past. Like it's been a really long time since we've looked at those. But I want to look at the temple that Solomon built using the infographics, so we have a visual as to what it looked like as best as we can, so we can kind of understand what's going on here. Things that are talked about in Scripture. And this here we have is Solomon's temple that his father David had accumulated all the materials, but it was Solomon that was going to actually build this structure. Once again, this is in correlation with 1 Kings chapter 7, as well as 2 Chronicles chapter 4, and in particular, concerning the furnishings. So we can click here. You see it's very elaborate when you consider the tabernacle that really would serve the purpose as representing the dwelling of God. And this is much more elaborate than that, but a lot of very fine material. These pillars here, I believe, are pillars of bronze. Bronze was used often. Also, when you start getting into the actual temple itself, let's see if we can go here. Pretty much all this was overlaid with gold. And like we talked about yesterday, the cherubim here, that, they were all over the place, and kind of once again to represent the idea of the presence of God, because here you have the Ark of the Covenant right here, which had the two cherubim over the mercy seat, and which once again symbolizes that God dwelt among them. But very elaborate. This is obviously the Holy of Holies here. This is the Holy of Holies. This is the holy place. You see the different furnishings here, the menorahs that were here, the table of showbread, the altar that is here, the altar of incense, and then this would have been the veil that would have separated the holy place from the Holy of Holies. And on Yom Kippur, the Jewish holiday, that is when the priests would go into the Holy of Holies and make atonement for the people's sin. So very elaborate. And when we read the account here in 1 Kings chapter 7, we very much see how just incredible this structure is. It's really amazing and beautiful. And we'll go back over here. In terms of all of its material and how it was made and everything like that. So very, very beautiful here. Let's see if I can. And also on this thing is really neat. The infograph here, you can go to specific things regarding the temple here. And so we'll just go to Solomon's temple. We'll just kind of zoom out here. Here you have the altar where these sacrifices would take place. And let's kind of zoom out of here. And then there were all of these bronze, there were these bronze lavers here. There would have been 40 of them. You can see the little bit of description over here on the side regarding these elements here. We can click on once again here all right, it's a little squirrely. And then here is the molten sea. And this talks about, you can see the references here. This is crafted by Hiram of Tyre. It was capable of holding as much as 10,000 gallons of water. It was huge, to say the least. So, with the nature of the vlog, I'd love to get into more detail about these things. And once again, this is the best visual representation we can have of something that was built so long ago. But what I want to do now is really just talk to you about the heart of this. The beautiful thing about going through the Bible like this in an overview perspective is that you see these major themes. And the major theme that really pops out here when we look at the temple that Solomon built is God wanting to be among his people. We see that from creation and even how God made us to be intimate with him, but then sin separated us, and then you see the tabernacle kind of fulfill that being united with Christ, even though we still are sinners and we still struggle with sin, and the temple that Solomon built is this elaborate portrayal of God. While he's not confined to this temple, it very much represents his desire to be among his people. And then the ultimate culmination of God being among us is in Jesus Christ himself, that he put on flesh, he came down to dwell among us, to tabernacle among us, to temple among us. And as we now put faith and belief in Jesus, we have the Spirit of God living inside of us. And, especially during this time of COVID and all the unrest that we find in our nation, I've been just so challenged and encouraged by what matters most. What matters most is the presence of God, being in intimate relationship with the Lord and drawing near to Him. So I encourage you today just to really take seriously and have a delightful attitude and a joyful attitude in spending time with God today.